underneath or along the spine. Go ahead and place that bolster in line with the spine. Maybe even allow your head to either be supported on that bolster, pillow, blanket, or you can even have it hanging back, opening the throat and the throat chakra a little bit. So welcome. I think I know everybody that's in here today, but my name's Jaime, and I'm glad that you joined me today. Hopefully this is going to finish up your Sunday very pleasant, and hopefully you'll be able to sleep well tonight. Okay. As you begin to lie back on that bolster, start to relax your body. And just try to notice everything that is going on in the room around you. So what are you hearing close by? What's the closest noises that are currently occupying the room around you? And what are the noises that you can maybe hear secondary, farther out? Maybe right outside your door, maybe in the next room. And then maybe go even a little farther. What do you hear? Maybe outside your house. Any outside noises, lawnmowers, blowers, chainsaws. People are working in their yards quite a bit right now. And just noticing all those little noises, all those things outside distractions, outside noises, things that are outside of your body. And now moving into things that are inside your body. So now let's just start to bring awareness back into your body and here into the room. So we'll start by just noticing everything you're feeling. So all the sensations in your body. Just bring that thought in, that process inside. Maybe even scanning yourself from head to toe. Are you relaxed? Are you comfortable? Notice the sensation of the mat below your body and the surface where your body is touching the mat. How does that feel? Is it soft, warm? And to bring your thoughts, your mind into the breath. I'm not trying to control the breath. Just notice your natural breath. Is it shallow or deep? Maybe your natural breath is even a ujjayi breath. We do that sometimes unconsciously. Once we practice that breath a lot, it becomes just natural to us. And if you are listening to any music, if you haven't started it, you can go ahead and start it. I did mention on the chat what the podcast that I'm playing is today. I have that typed in Spotify. I'm just going to lie back on the mat. So for you, we'll go ahead and start to move the pillow out from under your body. So just set it out to the side. Doesn't matter where it lies, just knock it out from behind you. And bring your knees both to a bent position. That way your lower back will lie flat down on the mat. Just notice the curvature of the lower back. The whole spine goes flat when you bend the knees, bringing the soles of your feet to the mat. Just begin to close your eyes if they are not closed already. And from here, maybe bring your hands to your belly, the lower belly. Notice and feel your belly lift and rise as you breathe. If you don't quite feel the sensation of your belly lifting and rising, maybe let the breath come to your belly. So as you breathe deep into your diaphragm, your stomach, your belly will rise. So now we're beginning to control the breath a little bit. Just focus in on that breath. Now with your left hand on your belly or stomach, let's bring your right hand up to your heart, your chest. And let's bring both hands to your chest, Anjali Mudra prayer. And from here, let's focus in on an intention, a mantra, a phrase. Maybe you want to dedicate your practice to your teachers and your teachers' teachers. And just repeat that intention several times to yourself, whether or not you are still controlling the breath. It doesn't matter right now what the breath is doing, just what your intention is. And from here, pull the knees into the chest. We're just going to start to gently rock front to back. Very slowly. And maybe eventually making your way up to that seated position. Our first pose for the evening will be a standing forward fold, so take your time getting there, because we have time. In yin yoga, we hold poses anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. So the standing forward fold, we're going to be here for a little while. So if you would like, if you have a small pillow, or if you have a block, you can place this pillow in between your waist. Maybe just giving yourself a little bit more support here. Some softness to this forward fold. Now, if that doesn't work for you, you might have to fold the pillow a little bit more, but try bending the knees and just let your upper body hang down towards your feet. So this is getting not only into our hamstrings, but it's also getting into your lower back. So you'll start to notice it more in the lower back when you begin to relax your neck, your shoulders, your upper spine. On every exhale, try to let yourself get heavy. Let your body get more heavy. And I'm just going to grab my phone so I can begin timing all of our poses today. I like to make sure that we're getting the exact amount of time that we need for our practice. As we're holding this pose for longer, you might notice that your chest wants to drop a little bit farther towards your knee. So if you are using that pillow, maybe you can unfold the pillow. That'll help you to go deeper if you want to go deeper. The idea of the pillow is it might just help you to stay longer in this bend, because sometimes some of us have shorter hamstrings, so this is a harder pose to hold. We may have lower back issues. Sometimes that makes our lower back feel a little bit weird when we're folding over for a long period of time. Your hands can be anywhere, whether they're clasped at the elbows, touching the ground. You may have blocks or something that you want to support your hands or arms on. We have about 5 more breaths in this pose. So 5 more breaths. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. Breathe. For the last 3 breaths, see how it feels to maybe roll into the toes a little bit more, rocking just a hair forward. It might change the whole pose for you. And this is our last breath. The end of that exhale, let's go ahead and slowly roll up. So if you do have that pillow under the thighs or on the thighs, just set it to the side. Slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. And I know I'm coming out of the screen right now, but maybe just reach the hands up. And we'll exhale, sit gently all the way back down onto the mat. And once we make our way back down to the mat, just go ahead and lie all the way down on your backs. Once you find that spine, keep the knees hugged up towards the waist. And let's gently drop our knees over towards the right for a lying twist. Now twisting through that spine. And it's okay to keep both knees stacked on top of one another. Left shoulder reaches across down to the mat. So you might notice that your shoulder is drifting above the mat. That's okay. We're working on getting that shoulder closer to the mat. If you have pillows, bolsters, blankets, anything, you can place a pillow under your shoulder, or maybe even place a pillow between the legs to help get the shoulder closer to the mat. I'm going to go ahead and start the timer, and we will be here for a little while today, so try to find comfort here. Breathe into this twist. Your hands can be anywhere. Maybe they're back on your belly. Maybe one hand is drifted up towards your knee. Maybe your extended left arm is out to an airplane directly beside you or behind your body. Wherever that arm is, just try to relax. Soften the muscles in your chest, your shoulder. Your head can be anywhere. Maybe it's facing the ceiling. Maybe it's facing your left shoulder, taking your twist a little deeper. Just know as we're lying here in this twist, it doesn't really matter if you're twisted towards the right or towards the left. So we'll come right into the other side next. Just imagine your knees, your legs are going deeper towards the floor, as well as the opposite shoulder twisting deeper towards the floor, relaxing through the middle, through the spine. Maybe close the eyes if they're not closed. And if you have that blanket or towel, you can even place that over top of your eyes now if it feels good or if it suits you. The only difference with that is it just might help you to focus more in on your body, taking all the sight out. Begin to notice what is tense, what is relaxed. Does this pose feel good? Is it difficult for you? Maybe you find even that you are starting to fall asleep. That may happen. And we have about 10 more breaths now. The longer we stay in this pose, you might begin to feel different areas of sensation. The longer we hold this pose, you might begin to feel sensations in that top hip or your pelvis. Just imagine gravity is working, twisting your body deeper as you lie here for longer periods of time. And for your last 5 breaths in the pose, if you want to go deeper, begin to take your top leg and either just stagger it over the opposite leg, or you can even begin to wrap it underneath the bottom leg into an eagle twist. That's going to take this twist deeper into your spine. So I only really recommend doing that if you easily twist deeper without your body having any pain or discomfort. Just know that a little bit of discomfort is okay in a yin yoga practice. Maybe even feeling sensations of like a dull, bitter achiness, maybe burning sensation, a warm sensation. Those are all normal things to feel while practicing yin. And then we'll let this be your last breath. So wherever you're at, let the air exhale out. And slowly begin to untwist your body. So allow yourself to come out as slow as you need to, lifting the knees in towards the chest. Before you come into the other side, let's pull the knees in nice and tight. We'll lift the legs up into a waterfall pose. When you're ready, feel free to take your time getting there. Whatever you have that you may want to place underneath your pelvis, maybe you have a pillow, maybe you have a block at your house. I'm just going to slide a pillow underneath my hips for this waterfall pose. We're only going to be here for about 10 breaths tonight. So just allow yourself to relax into this waterfall pose. Maybe even shake the legs out a little bit, rock them around. You have a couple more breaths until you want to find stillness. So here we are, legs in the air, knees slightly bent, feet relaxed. So you might notice that your feet aren't flexed or pressing towards the ceiling. Relax your feet. Maybe the toes rise up, maybe the heels drop down. Everybody's a little different. Wherever you're at, just try to be here, be in the room that you're in, present at home. Notice your breath again. Is it a ujjayi breath? Is it just a shallow breath or deep breath? There's no right or wrong answer. It's just whatever feels good to you. Hands and arms really can be anywhere that's comfortable. I have mine behind my head right now, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have your hands there. This pose is mostly about the legs, the lower back a little bit. That's with this pelvis tilt with the pillow underneath. This pose is about reversing the blood flow. So our feet are higher than our heart in this pose. So we have about one more full breath. So just bring your attention to your toes now. What do you feel? How do the toes feel? Do they feel cool? Are they tingling? Let's bend at the knee, slowly lower the feet back down until we can pull and hug the knees back into the chest. Remove that pillow from below your hips. And when you're ready, we're going to drop our legs over to the opposite side. I'm just going to change positions here so I can still face you and the camera. And go ahead and twist over, lying twist towards the opposite side where you were last time. So for me, that means my legs are going to twist over towards the left side. My right shoulder comes down to the mat. So you're finding opposition here. Gravity working, gravity twisting you deeper. Knees towards one side, shoulder, opposite shoulder stays on the mat, or as close as it can get to the mat. Whether or not it drifts up or out, that's okay. So for me, I'm just going to place this pillow right between my legs just to help to find a little bit of support. Just start to notice where you're at in the pose. Maybe reflect. How is it on this side in comparison to the other? Does it feel the same? Is it different? Where does your head naturally want to tilt? Is it up towards the ceiling, gazing up? Is it over your right shoulder, maybe naturally falling over towards the left? Just know we have a while here in this pose, so trying to find that stillness. Here, main intention of this pose, we're drifting and twisting through the spine. Secondary sensations, notice your shoulder. Is it relaxed? Try to soften and relax your legs, your inner thighs, your top hip. The longer we hold this pose, you'll start to feel sensations in that top hip. You might not be there yet, but generally when we hold this pose for up to 5 minutes, you will begin to feel those sensations there. Try to close the eyes if they're not closed. Maybe placing that towel or blanket over top of your eyes. Begin to notice your mouth. Is it relaxed? Is your jaw soft? Are your shoulders and neck relaxed? And notice your torso, your spine. How does that feel? What sensations are you feeling there? We're about halfway through this pose. And if you find at any time any pose we're in feels difficult or uncomfortable, just know that that's okay. It's normal to feel uncomfortable in a pose. It might feel difficult. You might get aggravated or irritated. Those are things that happen. Those are things that pop up, not only in yoga, but in your normal, natural life, in your everyday life. Just don't put any thought or judgments to it. Just know that that's a normal sensation that happens. Just try to relax into that sensation. Just know that you won't be in this pose forever. We have about 7 more breaths. If you ever feel that you want to take a Ujjayi breath, it might help you to focus back into your body and the sensations you're feeling. We have about 4 more breaths. So if you'd like to take that eagle wrap on this side, if you took it on the other side, you'll take your top leg, wrap it up, over, and around that bottom leg, or maybe even just stagger the 2 legs. You're still getting a little deeper just by doing a little stagger. And what I mean by stagger is when you just simply slide your top leg up, over, and just let it hang in free suspension, relaxing through that top hip, taking your twist a little bit deeper, giving you more sensation on that top hip. And let's go ahead and exhale the air out. On your next inhale, slowly lift both legs up together, pull the knees in. Maybe rocking right and left on the spine. And lower the feet down to the mat, pausing here for your resonance pose. And if you are familiar with my classes, you'll know a resonance pose or a rebound posture. That's like your pose in between poses. So anything or any position you want to put your body in to be able to find rest. So this isn't about stressing connective tissue and fascia. This is about settling in so you can feel the sensations of your body, maybe feeling energy flow. So whether your feet stay on the mat and your knees touch one another, or you extend your legs all the way out for your corpse pose, these are all possible things to do. Anything that feels good. We'll be here for about 3 more breaths. So allow these 3 breaths time for you to really notice what your body is feeling. What sensations are you producing right now? And for our next pose, we'll come into a seated forward fold, also known as your caterpillar pose. So let's gently make our way up. If you'd like to pull the knees in and rock and roll yourself up to a seated position, I'm actually going to face, you guys. We're gonna start to get into the hamstrings. So seated forward fold in yin, caterpillar pose. We're calling it caterpillar pose, a yin version of this pose, just so you know this is a more relaxed version of this pose. So I'm actually going to start with a pillow. I want to definitely give everybody some options here. So you're at home, really allow yourself to do what feels good. A lot of times we have these expectations and we think we should look a certain way, and when we're in a group class, it is a little bit more difficult. We might push ourselves a little bit harder, but you're at home, nobody can see you. So really maybe play with this pose a little bit, see what feels the best for you. So I'd like to give the option of maybe placing a pillow or a blanket. A blanket would be good here also, underneath the knees. So by placing something under the knees, it might allow you to lean forward farther over your body. So in caterpillar or seated forward fold, we do lean forward towards our feet. So I'm also going to use a pillow in my lap just because it's a little bit more comfortable. So I'm going to start here. We're going to be in this pose for 15 breaths. So really know that we are here to start relaxing. So get into the pose when you're ready. Allow yourself the first 3 breaths to find where you want to stay. Now that doesn't mean that if you pick your edge right now that you have to stay in that edge. You can change that edge throughout the class, whether you go deeper or come out. So I usually start this pose with something behind my knees until my hamstrings start to warm up a little bit. They start to get comfortable. And then I might move that pillow out from under about halfway through. So the idea here is we're relaxing your body. So the knees might fall out to the sides a little bit. That's okay. We're leaning over. The rounding of the back is okay. The shoulders rounding down is okay. You might even place something underneath your neck or your forehead just to support your neck. So wherever you're at is perfect for your body. Just notice what that is. Notice what it is, so when you come into this pose next time, you just know right where you want to go. And we're about halfway through. Notice the backs of the legs. You might be feeling sensations not only in the hamstrings, but maybe the backs of the knees, as well as the calves. You might even be feeling some sensations in your ankle. So here we're working not only the backs of our legs, but if you can imagine that our tendons, our ligaments, our fascia, our muscles, everything is commingling, it's all attached. So here, all of these muscles are attached up into our pelvis. So you might not think about it, but we are working our pelvis, we're working our knee joints, we're even working our ankle joints and the fascia, the tendons, the ligaments, the muscular materials that are all around all of these joints. And we are about done with this pose. So before you come out, let's exhale all the air out of the lungs. Inhale nice and slow. And let's just exhale, sigh that breath out, release the air. Slowly roll up. Going to take our next pose into a seated square pose. So in yin, we call this square pose. You may know it as your 90-90 or seated pigeon. There's lots of different names for this pose. It's not everybody's favorite because it's really gets into the hips quite a bit. So like I said before, you are at home. So if you'd like to take a different version, or getting into your hips or pelvis area, really strong here. So you can take your lying down pigeon. You can also take your eye of the needle pose, sleeping swan. There's lots of different options you can take. I'm going to direct you into 90-90 because the next pose we're going to be taking after this, our legs are going to be out in front of us again. So from here, 90-90 or square pose, you don't necessarily want your foot to be tucked inside the knee because then you're getting into your ankle joint pretty heavy. So for that foot, you almost want the foot to be hanging off the leg a little bit here. So if this is not an option, or you might find that your knee is really lifted, some people can't get their foot to cross over, that's okay as well. Try placing your foot in front of the knee so it's actually down on the floor. This is an option that is also okay and might even help you so you can lean forward over top of your knees. Lots of options here with pillows. Maybe place a pillow in your lap. Maybe even place 2 pillows. Tuck them under your arms. Do anything you need to do to find some comfort here. Begin to lean forward. If you have 3 or 4 pillows, maybe you find that you want to stack them all up in front of you because you can't lean all the way over, and that's okay. Just go as deep as you possibly can go without causing pain. Anytime you have pain, just be aware of that sensation, and that's okay to come out or take a lesser version of the pose. If you're just feeling a little bit of discomfort, maybe some warm or burning sensations, try to stay. It doesn't matter which foot is on top, so we'll be coming right into the other side. And just notice, which leg did you pick? Try to relax your neck and head. So if your head is just hanging in free suspension, you might notice without support or something to rest your head on, that your head or your neck begins to tense up. Maybe you have to continue to lift your head or rock it around. So by placing something underneath your head or forehead for support, it allows you to be able to relax your neck the whole time. Focus on the sensations in your pelvis. What does it feel like? Does it feel that warming or burning sensation? And we are about halfway there. But you always have that option of coming out early. If you do come out early, just ask yourself, why are you coming out early? Is it because you're in pain? Is it just because you're frustrated? Maybe it's uncomfortable. And don't judge yourself for coming out early if you decide to. Because that might be the extent of your pose. Maybe for you, a 2-minute hold is all you need in this pose. Maybe you're not quite ready for a 3-minute hold. That's a lot in this pose. 3 minutes is a lot, especially when you're completely relaxed. We have 3 more breaths. Try to let yourself go a little bit deeper on every exhale. This is your last breath. And we'll slowly begin to inch yourself up before we cross our legs completely into the other side, let's just extend both of those legs out. Maybe even help your legs off. That's all right too. Help your legs. Your tissue is vulnerable when you've been pressing through it for so long. But let's just extend the legs out. Maybe we point and flex the feet, circle them out a little bit, paddle them out, shake the knees. We rock the legs in and out, release the hips. We'll just take one more breath, doing whatever it is that feels good to your body right now. When you are ready, we'll come into the other side. Help your legs, support them with your arms. You grab your foot, slide it over. And we'll be here for the next 3 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and start that timer. Allow yourself the first 3 breaths to feel this side. Is this your tighter hip? Does this feel better? Does it feel worse? Do you want to stack your leg? Do you want to slide the foot in front? What feels good? You don't necessarily have to do the exact same thing on both sides because we don't know, or I especially don't know, do you have a knee injury? Have you had an ankle injury? Maybe this side you can't physically lift your leg up and over because you've hurt your ankle or your knee. So yes, we do try to find balance and make one side match the other side. Sometimes that's not always an option. So do what feels good and just pay attention to your body. What do you need right now? Notice the sensations. Notice the breath. We're about halfway through right now. Try to soften and relax that outer pelvis area. And just notice your outer pelvis area. If you notice that your muscles continue to tense up, that is an indication that you may be a little bit too deep in the pose. So if that's the case, maybe lift up out of that hip a little bit. Take some of the pressure off. We're not here to stretch anything. We're here to put gentle holds on your joints, on your connective tissue, on your fascia. We're not trying to wrench anything down. We're not trying to cause you pain. We're just trying to be gentle. We have 3 more breaths. So if you would like to take those breaths, it's 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. And this is your last breath. So allow yourself that full breath. Feel the end of the pose, feel your body, and slowly move out when you're ready. Begin to lift your chest out. Maybe assist your legs. Let both legs come out in front of you. Just do anything that feels good. Shake the legs. Maybe massage out the hips a little bit. And when you're ready, we're just going to pause, resonance pose. I'm going to bend both of my knees up. I'm just going to hug my legs in. So across my arms at the elbows in front of my knees. And just lower my head down towards my knees. And my head won't touch my knees, but it'll gently lay down towards the legs. So this is your resonance pose. This isn't necessarily a yin yoga pose. We're just going here to relax, to settle back in, check in with yourself. Notice what you're feeling. Notice all the sensations of your body. We'll be here for about 3 more breaths. From here, let's slide both of your legs forward. We'll come into half butterfly pose next. So with your half butterfly, I'm going to use my right leg. This is also another one of those poses. We're going to take one side and then the other side. So please feel free to do whichever one feels good. I'm going to do my right leg. Slide the inside of your right foot into your inner thigh. So if this doesn't feel good or you can't quite get your foot all the way up there, you can always put your foot to the inside of your calf if that feels better. I'm going to bring my foot to the inner thigh. It's almost like you're taking your tree pose. Your leg that is extended long is going to be in front of you, because what we're going to do here is lean over the legs. So we're getting into the hamstrings, the backs of the knees again, the outer pelvis. This is also posed on, I'm going to use my pillows. I'm going to actually place one pillow under my knee, because my knee feels a little sore today. As I lean over my leg, you can lean straight forward, or if you would like to get into the lower back of the opposite side, your body is actually going to lean over the leg. Maybe for you, you can grab the outer edge of the foot and help to pull yourself over. You may be over here. Wherever you're at, you'll start to feel some sensation in your lower back of the opposite side. So my left leg is forward. I'm going to start the sensation in my right lower back. This is a really good lower back stretch. I'm actually going to bring a pillow over here as well. So once again, we'll be here for about 15 breaths. So find that position of the pose. Now, if you have lower back issues or problems or soreness there, you might only be able to do this version about half. So if you notice that you're here, if your back starts to hurt or you have pain or even a pinching sensation, maybe just move here to the center of the pose instead of getting into the lower back version. So allow yourself those first few breaths to settle in. About 11 more breaths to go. Halfway through. Five more breaths. Bring your attention into every part of your body right now. You're feeling this pose. Ask that area to relax. I have really deep sensations in my lower back right now. Just want to ask that to relax, settle in. Maybe allow it to lengthen a little bit more. This is your last breath, so let's really feel this breath. Breathe it all the way in. Exhale that air all the way out, coming to the bottom of the breath for a pause. On your next inhale, we'll slowly lift and rise off that leg wherever you're at, to the side, from the middle. Be gentle. Extend your leg all the way out so both legs are extended in front of you, and let's just place the hands right behind your back. Get yourself a little back bend in here. Be here for only about 3 breaths. So hands can be either pointed straight behind you or out to the side. Just let that play wherever it wants to go. How does that feel? And instead of sinking here into the shoulders, let's lift the chest high, pressing the shoulders behind you, reactivating the muscles on the back a little bit. Point the toes, see how that feels. We only have one more breath. Exhale the air out. And then let's come into the other side. So take your time. Slowly lift up. This time my left foot is coming to my inner right leg. I have the pillow underneath my bent knee just because for me that helps my knee joints. And I'm just going to begin this pose by leaning forward. I'll go ahead and start that timer. I want to feel this pose first. Where is my edge? How deep am I going to go this time? And for me, I usually have a tighter left lower back. So I'm going to be aware of that when I start to lean into this, and how deep do I want to go. So as you lean over the front leg, the front extended leg, your hands, if you're taking the back, the lower back version, your hands will come to the outside of the leg, maybe grabbing the blade of the foot to help you come into the pose a little deeper. Let's notice what you want to do. How deep do you want to go? How does your lower back feel? Does it feel good to take this version? Hands are maybe out on, stretched out on the floor. You might be up a little bit higher, maybe even elbows to a pillow. Once you find that version, try to find stillness. Try to close your eyes and just be here. It's okay if your front extended leg, your knee can be bent slightly. How does that feel? So we are relaxing into these poses. We're not trying to wrench our hamstrings. We're not trying to injure our hips or our pelvis or overstretch anything. We're just taking these gentle holds, slow, long holds. That's what we do in yin. It takes time to slowly get into these body parts. And we're about just over halfway through. Now, if there's ever a time in the class tonight that you would like to stay longer in any pose, please, by all means, stay longer. The same thing goes. If you ever feel like you just need to come out, or if you're having pain, it's just as good to come out early. Stay longer, come out early, just paying attention to your body. This is all about you today. All of these yoga classes, in fact, especially the ones we're taking at home right now, it's all about you. Taking the time out of your day to take care of yourself. 3 more breaths. Try to relax a little deeper on the last 2 exhales of the pose. And this is your last breath, so let's breathe it in when you're ready. Exhale when you're ready. Pause at the bottom. Slowly move up with your next inhale. Be gentle when you come out. Walk yourself up, especially if you're feeling a lot of sensation in your lower back. Let's just extend both legs out again, shake them out, maybe rock the knees. Let's place the hands behind the back again, fingertips either facing back or to the side, whatever feels good on your arms. And this time, let's just walk the feet in. We're going to windshield wiper the legs right and left. before we come into the next pose. Let's just do this about 3 times. Get a little bit of movement, helping the energy to flow and flush through your body a little bit more. From here, placing the soles of the feet together for butterfly pose. Now, once again, I've got my pillows here. You probably can't see them because they're on this dark mat, but I'm going to place 2 pillows underneath my knees for this butterfly pose. And with butterfly pose, the soles of your feet touch. This is the same pose as Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. So as your feet are together, there's a couple different options you can take. I'm going to start the timer as I explain the options. If you already are aware of this pose and you know where you want to go, by all means, come into it. With the different options, you can have pillows under your knees to support your knees. If you would like, feet can come very close to the body, and you can begin to lean towards the feet. This doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily lay all the way down. You could just be leaning forward, relax your back, your shoulders, and your neck. With the feet in close, you might feel more sensation on your inner thigh area. So all of these areas, we are still working the pelvis, whether you're feeling it on your inner thighs, your outer thighs, your glutes. So relax all of these areas. The second option would be to have your feet all the way extended out in like a diamond shape and then leaning in towards your feet. This version might help you to lean a little bit deeper, taking then some of the sensation also into your shoulders and upper back. But by placing your feet forward more, it's changing the sensations in your legs. So now maybe you feel some sensation in your hamstrings. Maybe you feel sensations a little bit more in your knees and also in your outer pelvis. So what version feels right or better for you? You can also just have your feet right in the middle of all of those areas, leaning forward when you're ready. And I'm even going to grab a third pillow just because I like to use pillows. So with this third pillow, I'm going to place it in front of me so I can use it to lean forward on. By placing this pillow in front of me and leaning on it, it's helping me to relax through my shoulders, my mid back, my lower back. And for me, I was just going to wrap my arms underneath and just really settle into the pose. We're coming towards the end or nearing the end of the pose. So we'll just be here for another breath. Feel that breath, feel your body. Notice every place you feel these sensations. Release the breath, the air. Slowly begin to walk yourself up. This may be one of those poses that feels really good and you want to stay. Don't feel bad about staying. Stay as long as you would like. And as you come up, once again, we're going to windshield wiper the legs. So place the hand just behind your body. Let the legs just drop. We're going to drop the legs this time towards the right and just let them lay there hanging. Doesn't mean the legs have to touch the ground. Try to keep the hips both planted on the ground and just let the legs hang towards the left or the right. Take one more breath. And let's alternate. Lift both legs up and over towards the other side. Releasing the hips. Try to keep both of your hips on the ground as the legs hang over towards the opposite side. And let's switch. We're just going to do 2 more of these. And switch. And coming back up to the center. We have 1 more inner thigh pose. Seated wide leg forward fold, also known as your dragonfly pose. So this could look different for everybody. In your dragonfly pose, both of your feet are open towards the outer edges of the mat or whatever surface you're lying on. Could be your bed, could be just the middle of a carpeted floor, could be your mat, your yoga room. With the feet out, you might notice that your feet are more in a V shape. They could be open farther out, they could be closer together. It doesn't really matter in this pose where your legs actually open up to. What matters is what you're feeling. How do you feel? Is it comfortable? Is it uncomfortable? So discomfort, that's okay. And I've already started the timer. So in this dragonfly pose, once again, I'm going to use my pillows. So for me, I like to place a pillow in front of my body. And then I begin to lean forward over the pillow. So you might notice that when you first start this pose, I'm just going to use 3 pillows, for example. You might notice that your elbows are up on top of pillows or blocks. Maybe your hands are on the ground in front of you and you're just leaning forward into those inner thighs. So that's always an option. Leaning forward, relax the inner legs, relax your outer pelvis. Soften your feet. You might feel sensation in your ankles, your knees. That's okay, as long as it's not painful. This is another pose where you can put something underneath the knees to support your knees. Otherwise, just begin to lean forward, softening, relaxing those legs. Wherever you're at, just be there. Close the eyes. Notice the sensations you're feeling. Yes, it's uncomfortable. This is a pretty deep pose. How uncomfortable is it? Is it tolerable? Can you stay? We're halfway into the pose. We have about 5 more breaths. And this is your last breath in the pose. So really let this breath count. Try to relax fully into it. Let everything go on the exhale as you relax, release the breath. Pause the breath at the bottom and notice everything that happens in that stillness of breath. When you begin to breathe, let's inch our way out of the pose. Slowly begin to bend the knees, slide the legs back together. We'll meet in prone shavasana. We have about One more little set before we come into our yoga nidra. So as you begin to lay in prone shavasana on your stomachs, on the front half of your body, go ahead and lie out. Keep your arms out in front of you. We're going to move into Sphinx next, but let's pause in between for a resonant pose. So with your feet out, let them be as wide as the mat. Relax the hips. Just imagine that your hips, your glutes are relaxed, and maybe even melting down towards the side of your body. Soften and relax both of your shoulders. I'm going to turn a little bit. So when we come into the next pose, you can actually see me better. And let yourself just be here for the next 2 breaths. Shut the eyes. Relax the face. And let's move into our Sphinx pose. So with your Sphinx pose, there's so many different beautiful options you can take. Every person's a little bit different. In Sphinx, you're generally bringing your forearms to the mat. You might notice that your shoulders are in line with your elbows in this pose. Fingertips are nice and wide. So you can stay here gazing forward, but I like to give the option of placing something in front of your forehead so you can rest your forehead down on it. You can use a block, but I'm going to just demonstrate with my pillow because that's what most of us have at home. We just have our pillows. Couch pillows are great for this, by the way. So forearms down, fingers wide. You can stay high, but if you like to take a deeper version where you're getting into your shoulders, you can begin to relax your shoulders. So as soon as you relax the muscles in your shoulders, you'll notice that your chest drops down towards the mat. Your shoulder joints change position a little bit, and then you can begin to lean your head forward, resting it on something in front of you. And this is a more relaxed version of Sphinx. But if you're trying to get deeper into your lower back, you may want to place something underneath your forearms. So maybe you're taking your pillow, placing your pillow under your forearms. This is going to give you a deeper compression in your lower back. So it really just depends on how deep do you want to go, where do you want to take this pose. You want it to be more in your shoulders, or you want it to be more in your lower back. Wherever you're at, begin to relax your glutes. You will be feeling some compression in your lower back. That is a normal sensation to feel in Sphinx. So a compression just means that when your bones are starting to touch or come close to touching, it may be pinching some of the tissue in between the bones as they are compressing together or bending towards one another, or maybe even to touching. Sometimes you have bone-on-bone compression. So as your spine is compressing in the back, you're putting tension across the front of your body. Just notice how your glutes feel. Try to soften and relax the glutes. Notice your head and neck. Is it soft? Is it relaxed? We're about halfway into this pose. If you would like to move this pose into seal pose, you can extend with the hands, press into the hands, lift the back up. This is going to get deeper into your lower back. So if you were already having a sensation that was too much compression, you may not want to take this version. Seal pose, you lift and straighten the arm. Maybe you even walk the hands closer to the body. This is not wrong, it's just different. Some people even take their hands all the way up towards their hips or pelvis for a seal, full seal pose. So this is now getting into a little bit into my lower back, but I'm also getting into the front of my thighs, my hip flexors. A lot of tension across my torso, my rectus abdominis. We have 3 more breaths. Last breath. Exhale the air out. Lower yourself down, gentle, gentle, gentle. Come all the way down. We're going to pause just for 1 breath. Then we're going to press back into a closed leg child's pose. Just pause here. Let the breath out, maybe sigh it out. Slowly lifting, roll over the knees, closed leg child's pose. So as you are coming into this closed leg child's pose, I just want to give you a couple options. This is like your counter pose. So here you can wrap your hands around, grab a hold of your feet. Stay here, forehead reaches the ground. Or if you would like some extra curvature in your lower back, mid back, upper back, try to place the top of the head on the mat. You'll round your back up like you're coming into your rabbit pose. Press the center and the back high. Get a deep stretch across your back and your spine. Really stretching the lumbar spine, the thoracic spine. Release it back down. If it feels good, by all means, keep doing it. But for everybody else, we'll pause here. Closed leg child's pose for 2 more breaths. When you're ready, we'll make our way into our final resting pose. For your final resting pose, let's say you have tons of pillows, like I have tons of pillows in here. So bolster yourself up, do it, whatever your body needs to find complete comfort. So if you have 2 small pillows like these, maybe you want to place one underneath both knee for support. Or maybe you have a wider pillow, such as this one, or maybe you have just your pillow that you sleep with. That's fine too. Whatever it is, let's place a pillow underneath both of your bent knees. If you have a blanket, that will also work. If you have maybe even a flat pillow, this one's pretty thin. I like to place this also underneath my back. It just feels really good. And then I'll place a couple pillows underneath my knees. So the idea is you want to find whatever you need in your body to find that stillness right now, comfort. By placing something underneath your knees in this position, it helps your lower back to come a little closer to the ground, which will help you find stillness, calmness, and peace. Go ahead, settle in, do whatever you need to do. You've got about 3 breaths to really find that perfect, comfortable position. And I'm actually going to move a little closer to the camera for your guided yoga nidra. So if you're not already lying down, go ahead and lie down. You can take yoga nidra seated, but it is recommended that you lie down and you find comfort, you find stillness. So we'll take a few breaths together. If you have music on, you may want to turn it down. Or if it is not distracting you, then that's okay too. Or maybe you just want to listen to your music and not listen to the Yoga Nidra. Maybe mute me and enjoy your music. It doesn't matter. Take whatever you need, just as long as you can relax. And allow yourself this time, this last few minutes of peace, comfort, stillness. Exhale all the air out when you're ready. Inhale nice and slow. Exhale, release. Inhale when you're ready, nice and slow through the nose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Last breath together. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause the breath. Inhale, full, all the way up, however long it takes, nice and slow. Pause the breath when you get to the top. Very good. Release. Now coming into your natural, comfortable breath, whatever that breath is. Just begin to notice that breath. How deep does the breath go? Is it moving all the way down into your chest, your lower ribs, or your diaphragm, your belly? Begin to notice your skin. So notice the temperature of your skin. Notice the clothes that are touching your skin. How do they feel? Are they heavy? Are they light? Do you feel them really even at all? Notice the surface you're lying on. And the area between your body and that surface. And notice the weight of your body. Do you feel heavy? Maybe you feel light. And then to begin our Yoga Nidra practice, let's start with the beating of your heart. Notice the beating of your heart. Can you feel it in your chest? And then can you feel the beating of your heart anywhere else in your body? Maybe your neck or your wrists. And from here, let's move to your right hand. Your right hand. So bring your attention, your thoughts to your right hand. the top of your right hand, the bottom of your right hand, the right wrist, forearm, elbow, bicep, your right side shoulder, your right side chest, the rib cage of your right side, the right side body, and the right side hip, your right thigh, knee, and calf, your right ankle, the top of your right foot, the sole of your right foot, and all of your right toes. The whole right side of your body, the whole right side of your body. Moving on to your left hand, the left hand, the top of your left hand, the bottom of your left hand, your left side wrist, forearm, elbow, and bicep, and your left side shoulder and chest, your left side rib cage, and your left side body, your left hip, thigh, knee, and calf, your left side ankle, the top of that left foot, the bottom of your left foot, and all of the toes on that left side. Notice both legs together. Notice both legs together. Notice both arms together. Bring your attention now to your whole head and the whole face. And now your whole body. Feel and notice your whole body as it lies here on the mat. Once again, coming back, notice the weight of your body. Do you feel heavy or do you feel light? You could maybe even feel both. Notice your body in relation to where you're at in the room. Notice all the air, the energy around you as you lie here. What sensations do you feel around your body? Now moving up once again, your attention to your heart. And then once again to your third eye. Bring your attention there. And then as you breathe, let's just circulate that breath through your third eye. So breathing in, visualize breath coming in your third eye, moving all the way down to your diaphragm or belly. As you exhale, you're flushing all of your chakras out. The air comes out, flows out. As you breathe your next breath in, third eye breath. Flush out that third eye, your intention, your intuition. So as we begin to end class or move our way out of class and out of the Yoga Nidra, come back to your intention or mantra that you set earlier. Just thinking about that, feel it being true in your life. Don't just think of it, but try to really feel that. What would it be like? What would it feel like? How would it change you? How would it change the people that you surround yourself with? Even though a lot of us are not able to have a lot of connection with people right now physically, this could be a chance for you to reset your life. And our reading for today is from the book Journey to the Heart. This I know is backwards in the mirror, but I'd like to show you anyway. So releasing old emotions. Our emotions and experiences sometimes lead us out of the present moment. Something happens, someone says something, we hear something, and a feeling crops up. Often underneath it is an old feeling, a feeling from the past, an old chunk of energy that's hidden in our soul, stored in our body. We aren't off track when that happens. We're right where we need to be, off center and out of the present moment. We can use moments like these to heal ourselves. Let yourself feel the feeling. Let yourself release the energy. Take it out, jog it out. Do what your heart leads you to do to release that bubble of emotion from your soul. Take as much time as you need, an hour, a day, a month. When it's gone, you'll find a surprise. You've advanced on your path. You've learned something new. A new cycle has begun. An issue arose that provided an opportunity for healing and growth. And that healing and growth turned into a pleasant and welcome surprise. Yes, sometimes experiences lead us out of the present moment, but if we stay present for ourselves, we'll always come back, changed, lighter, healed, and more ready to love. So thank you, yogis, and I think we have all yoginis here. But if there are any yogis, thank you all for coming. Once again, my name is Jamie, and this was a Yin Nidra meditation class. If you would like to bring your hands to Heart Center Anjali Mudra, the divine in me honors and cherishes the divine in all of you. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for coming and being here for yourself and for me, and allowing me the opportunity to continue teaching really through all that is going on. It's been wonderful. Thank you all.